I'm sure that you, the Nipua Chamber of Commerce, will find my leather-bound collection of inspirational corporate pep talks impossible to put down.
I read a book once that was impossible to put down. It was all about anti-gravity.
Really? You're gonna start making horrible jokes. I'm going for an early lunch.
Lunch? That's a good idea. Hey, you know what they call a fake noodle? An impasta.
How can you keep doing that? Will you never stop making puns?
Well, you know what they say. A good pun is its own reword.
I'm gonna have to teach Igor how to take dictation. Hey, where is Igor? I haven't seen him around all day.
I don't know, Seb. The last I saw of Igor, he was heading down to the vaults to dig up this week's movie, Curse of the Aztec Mummy.
Ah, yeah. Another excellent choice by moi. I thought an Aztec Mummy movie would spice up the show this week.
Honestly, Seb, making bad puns in the workplace really lowers the tone of the office.
Hola, senor. You are correct. But there is one thing missing from your program. Me.
What's this, boss? Did you license your image to Taco Bell again?
Hola, bonita. No, senorita. The confusion is understandable, but I am not, as you say, a doppelganger of this fine gentleman here. Nor am I simply an Aztec mummy myself. No, I am that famous, brilliant, and some would say romantic professor of the undead, Dr. Notchley, at your service.
Notchley? Well, what happened to Igor?
Him? Oh, I gave him the day off. Oh, with full pay, of course.
What?
See, he worked very hard, and there are some things more important than work. Right, senorita?
So, what are you doing here, Dr. Notchley?
Oh, please. No need to be so formal. True, my name translates roughly into Ancient Wise One, but you may call me Guapo. No, see, I'm here to help introduce your fine docudrama, Curse of the Aztec Mummy. To do so, I've enlisted the aid of my amigo, Frank Dello Spirito, and his interesting fiendish film fact.
What?
Frank?
You can't just... that's my line. You can't just take over. Are you even listening to me? Hey, yes. Hello?
This week's movie is Curse of the Aztec Mummy from Mexico, 1957. The original of the Aztec Mummy movies, the Aztec Mummy versus the Robot that we talked about, is actually a sequel to this. Has the same director, Rafael Portillo, and the same scriptwriter, Alfred Salazar. The leading lady in this movie, as in the next movie, as in its sequel, is Rosa, and forgive me with these Hispanic names, Arenas. She's 24. She has done lots of Mexican horror movies, and she has lots of movies with masked wrestlers. And the masked wrestler appears in this movie. He's the Angel, played by Crux Alvadar, and there's kind of a cultural gap as to what the fascination of masked wrestlers to the Mexicans that mystifies many Americans. My own experience with a masked wrestler is the first conference I ever went to, which was 2000 Cult Movies Conference. My wife and I were at my table where I was trying to sell some books. Across from us were a married couple of masked Mexican wrestlers. Big people. The woman was big, the man was even bigger, but both of them about 250 at least. wearing masks and bickering through the day at their table. And my wife and I were just fascinated by these. They seem kind of comic figures to us. They're very important. They're superheroes in Mexican cinema. But to me, they'll always be an arguing couple of two very big people who just didn't seem to be getting along that day. Mexican mummies. We look at them as kind of schlock figures, but most Americans have no appreciation of how many mummies there are in Mexico. My wife and I went on vacation to Guanajuato, Mexico, and I was on a little tourist area. It was like a balcony, and there was what I thought was a mannequin dressed in costume, and I walked up to it, and lo and behold, it was the remains of an actual human being. It was a mummy, and mummies were just so common in Mexico. It's a high, dry desert, perfect conditions for forming a mummy. There are mummy museums. There are mummy amusement parks. I should say, I don't know what that thing was that the tour guide took us to, but it was a bunch of mummies dressed in costumes. And so mummies are very common to the culture of many parts of Mexico, which we just don't appreciate. So having Mexican mummy movies is really quite a natural extension of what they live with day to day.
Frank Delastria was author of A Quaint and Curious Volume of Forgotten Lore, the Mythology and History of Classic Horror Films, Vampire Over London, Bela Lugosi in Britain, and I Saw What I Saw When I Saw It, growing up in the 1950s and 1960s with television reruns and old movies.
So, what do you think of Dr. Notchley, boss? I think he adds a little class to the place.
That phony baloney, if he's an Aztec mummy, I'll eat my hat. I'm gonna do some research on this guy. Yeah.
Hola, I have returned. And I have brought you this, señorita.
Dr. Notchley, how suave of you.
No, guapo. I think we shall watch the movie now. Roll the film.
Hey, that's my line. You can't just step on my line. Are you even listening to me? Is anybody listening to me? Does anybody ever listen to anything that I say? I'm the one that owns this place. Come on, I can fire all of you.
So you see, señorita, we Aztec mummies may be dead, but there's still a lot of life left in us.
I've got you now. If you're an Aztec mummy, how come you're speaking English with a Spanish accent? And you're supposed to be speaking Aztec.
Oh, you speak of my ancient tongue, Nahuatl, of course. Well, please.
And Notchley doesn't mean ancient wise one. It means prickly pear fruit.
Oh, well, there is a perfectly logical explanation for that one. I must tell you that.
Don't mind Sepp, Dr. Notchley. He's just looking for something to talk about.
Okay?
Yep, it's nacho problem.
Ay, caramba.
Hey, where did he go?
Taffeta, never stop making puns.